Alright, I'm JFleezy, and we are back with another episode of TSWF. Not a ton to catch you up on, other than finances not as good as I would like, so I think we're definitely going back to one show a month for a little while. And for fun, because I noticed it, take a quick look at the top 500, top 500, top 100 in popularity. It's quite interesting to me. Now this is worldwide, that's why Andre's still up here, even though I don't think he's incredibly active. But Undertaker being 7 in 1992 is pretty crazy to me. There's Sting in 12th. The other names, you're like, yeah, no, obviously. Undertaker being all the way up in 7th already is kind of crazy. Inoki there in 19, Dusty Rhodes 20. We have Bret Hart. Where was Bret Hart? Oh, 23. Shawn Michaels down here at 39. Jake the Snake, 27. Feels a little low, doesn't it? Jimmy Snuka above him, Vader. I didn't even notice Vader before. It's a fun little list, though, to go through. Fabulous Moolah in 45th. Look at that. Rick Martel, 46th. Jim the Anvil in 47th. The Great Kabuki. Vince McMahon all the way up in 56. Oh, Barry Windham, 59. Ron Simmons, okay. I mean, he's quite popular in the U.S. Clearly didn't really work overseas. Michael Hayes there in 68th. Paul Orndorff. One of my goals is to get Paul Orndorff in here. Even if he only works a show or two, maybe even just a one shot, I want to hire Paul Orndorff. And it's doable. 1,200 per show. We just financially need a little. We need to be a little more stable before I can do that. I'd love to get him in here. King Kong Bundy there in 75th. Oh, this is a fun list to go through. Honest. Scott Steiner. Look at that. Scott Steiner. He's unrecognizable in that picture. From somebody who grew up with, Big Papa Pump, the older Scott Steiner. You can't even recognize him in that picture. A totally different guy. There's Medusa. Greg Valentine, Terry Gordy, Tiger Mask, huh? Bob Orton made the list. Look at that. Brutus Beefcake. What a fun list. What a fun mod this is. This is great. Alright, let's get to the show. Alright, here we are. TSWF Hard Knocks. We have Dick Knox opening the show, officially announcing Big Vito LaGrasso as a member of the TSWF roster. Begrudgingly, angrily. His bald little head is very red, but he keeps himself composed. Anyways, moving on. In our opening match of the night, we have Taz suplexing the hell out of Tony DeVito until brother cannot stand anymore, basically. Taz with an easy victory once again. A 42 performance. Taz is killing it right now. Jeff Jarrett, on the other hand, is not. Moving on, we have Leif Cassidy searching the entire backstage for Perry Saturn with no luck once more. We then have Brittany Brown, Misty Blue, and Fantasia facing off, with Misty Blue defeating Brittany Brown and Fantasia with her, what is her finish? With a Misty Dive. Forgot her finish. Great performance from these girls, though, man. They're good. I've heard of none of them, but they are good. Fantasia is really good. Incredible. Because I'm pretty sure Misty Blue is the most popular out of all of them by a decent amount. Fantasia is killing it. Great match. Good job, girls. We then have Paul Levesque bumping into Fletcher Knox in the back, like, get out of my way, boy. Real men have places to be around here, and just walks away. Jeff Jarrett, you suck, brother. We then have Tommy Dreamer debuting, I believe. Yeah, debuting, taking on Kid Cash, and what a performance that was from them. Tommy Dreamer defeating Kid Cash in 8.5 minutes with the Tommy Hawk. Beautiful stuff. Jeff Jarrett sucks again. Crazy, because the psychology is actually quite good, considering how young he is. What a performance with Jeff Jarrett trying to sabotage Tommy Dreamer. Let's be real. That's what's actually happening. We then have Stevie Richards and Sean Morley cutting a promo on the Law before their match. And obviously Brian Lawler and Steve Bradley don't like that, so they come out. And in the match, we have Stevie Richards pin Steve Bradley with a Stevie kick. In a 34 performance, a good tag team match. Job done. Stevie Richards does well. Sean Morley does well. The heels do well. Brian Lawler's getting better every show. The crowd could not be bothered. I mean, crowd heat at the end, very hot, but crowd rating 5, crazy. That's hot. It's a hot crowd, that 5. Alright. We then have Perry Saturn jump Leif Cassidy with somebody nobody's seen before here. Perry Saturn brought a friend. We then have Todd Morton take on Big Vito LaGrasso, and boy oh boy does it not go well. Vito beats him around the ring for 10.5 minutes before he finally decides to finish him. He then grabs a mic, says, "You can send whoever you want at me, boss. The result will always be the same." Struggled going off script. Boy, if there's somebody who can go off script at any time, it's Big Vito LaGrasso. We then have in our main event, Dick Knox versus Chris Candido, and I thought a match that would be way better being that he pulled a 48 out of Randy Hogan, but does a 47 with Chris Candido. That is nonsense. Somebody explain this one to me. He does a 50, Candido does a 46, and we get a 47 segment rating. But in the main event in the last episode, where Dick Knox did a 48 and Randy Hogan did a 17 or something, they had a 48 segment rating, did they not? Am I making that up in my head? That is crazy. I thought this would be an incredible, I mean, it is an incredible match. But it's a worse match than the match with Randy Hogan. Oh, great main event. Good job, Dick. Good job, Chris. What is this nonsense? Great show. We will catch you at the next. This was a very good show. Let's see the show rating first. Alright, now we'll catch you at the next. Good stuff, boys. Alright, straight into the next Hard Knocks. We have Dick Knox opening the show once again, announcing his main event versus Jeff Jarrett, as well as Vito's next opponent, Tommy Dreamer, tonight. Big Vito could not be bothered enough to even care, because he knows what is going to happen when he steps in the ring with Tommy Dreamer. 51 rating, fantastic start to the show. We then have Taz taking on Robbie V in a very big match here. Big opening match here. Taz defeating Robbie V in 10 minutes with the Kadi Hajime. I honestly never heard of that. I didn't know that's what his finish was called back then. I was never a huge Taz fan other than on commentary. I've always been a fan of Taz on commentary, not really in the ring. Great match, boys. Much better than my commentary here. Let's go. We then have Fletcher Knox, again, backstage running into Paul Levesque. Another shot taken by Paul Levesque. Don't belong here, kid. You're only here because you're uncle, you know. The shitty comments. Fletcher swings on him, misses, and Paul Levesque starts putting the hands to him. Beating the hell out of him before they're separated. 29 rating. Far better than I thought it was going to be. Very good. Very good stuff from Paul Levesque. Sean Waltman will now take on Kid Cash. Sean Waltman defeats Kid Cash with a super kick. And I believe his first victory here so far. So 43 performance. Very good job from Sean Waltman. Absolute star. We then have Leif Cassidy basically kicking the door into the office of Dick Knox. Like, I want Saturn. I want him at Resolution. Make it happen. Dick Knox just calmly says, "You know what, Leif? I'll do you one better. Not only will I give you him at Resolution, find yourself a tag team partner, and I'll give you Saturn and Canyon at the next Hard Knocks." Leif Cassidy looks pretty happy about that. 44 segment rating. Fantastic stuff. We then have Chris Candido take on Stevie Richards in an 8.5 minute match where Candido finishes him with a diving headbutt. Now 49 from Candido, 27 from Stevie Richards. Getting better. Slowly getting better. Looking good, Stevie Richards. We then have Booker T kind of wiping the floor with Sean Morley in 7 minutes 42 seconds with a missile drop kick. I mean, it's Booker T. Come on. Only a 33 performance from Booker. That is very disappointing. That is very disappointing from Booker T. But moving on. We then have Tommy Dreamer taking on Big Vito, and, well, it didn't go any better. Vito wipes the floor with Tommy Dreamer again in 10 minutes. Or for 10 minutes, I should say, before he finally decides, alright, I'm bored of this, and finishes him. 37 segment rating. Vito's getting better and better. Tommy Dreamer's doing well. Good stuff, good wrestling, decent crowd. Very hot crowd. Our crowd ratings are going up too, that's good. In front of 131, I think that's the same crowd as last month. We then have Vito. Same kind of promo last week. Keep sending them, boss. Keep sending them. Vito is awful on the mic right now, which is just stupid. In our main event, we have, again, a disappointer. Dick Knox taking on Jeff Jarrett, who has done nothing but disappoint this entire year as a road agent and as a performer. No, what's crazy about this is he was mad about the booking of this match, Jeff Jarrett. He's mad that I'm putting Dick Knox over him. Hilarious. But that sounds very Jeff Jarrett, doesn't it? In a superb wrestling match, Dick Knox defeats Jeff Jarrett in about 12 minutes with the knocks out, making defense number 4 of the TSWF Championship. 53 performance from Dick Knox. The old man just keeps getting better. It's crazy, isn't it? We also had Big Vito ringside for this, doing special commentary, watching this match. 44 segment rating, good stuff. Great end of the show. 44 overall rating. I almost said segment rating. 44 is fine. Few disappointers in there. Booker T was very disappointing. The Vito promo, very disappointing, but we're getting there. We're moving along. I think we are getting better. The storylines are very hot too. So, on to the next, huh? Alright, before we get into the go-home show for Resolution, a couple updates here. For one, owner goals. I haven't showed them yet, so here are the owner goals. Improve the financials. I'm a little worried about that. Improve to 50 in the world at least. I feel like we should be able to do that. I don't like not being able to have high flyers or brawlers. Not a big fan of that MMA crossover. That's not great, because I kind of did want Shamrock. Even for a one-shot or two-shot, whatever. That's not going to happen. So the goals are actually rough, to be honest with you. Usually goals don't bother me. This one I'm not incredibly happy with. Uncle Dick's being a dick. What a shock. Next thing. WWA in New Jersey. Looked like they're about to go out of business. And La Parka walked out. He's done nothing but bitch since day one that he wants more money. I'm good. See ya, buddy. Have fun. It be what it is. There was one more thing. What was that one more thing? Oh, we upgraded our merchandise. Other than that, not a whole lot's changed. Financially, I guess I can click there. Sponsorships covering worker costs, more or less. So we're getting to a good spot here. Get a few more fans in the door and all of a sudden we're in a good spot. So, let's hope it keeps going that way. Alright, let's get to the go-home show. Alright, here we go. Go-home show for Resolution. We open the show with Booker T and Tommy Dreamer. Booker T putting on a mediocre performance again, which I just do not understand. Tommy Dreamer defeats Booker T in 10 minutes with a Tommy Hawk. Same difference. Come on. Next up, we have Fletcher Knox taking on Kid Cash, where Kid Cash gets the victory off Paul Levesque's attack from behind. Kid Cash is much better than I'm giving him credit for. 35 segment rating. Great carry from Kid Cash. Beautiful stuff. We then have Paul Levesque putting the boots to Fletcher when Dick Knox comes out and says, "Alright, Paul, you got something to prove? Then you're going to prove it like a man. You're going to prove it one-on-one versus Fletcher Knox at Resolution." We now have Leif Cassidy's promised tag team match for this week. We have Leif Cassidy coming to the room with Scott Putski to take on Saturn and Canyon, where Harry Saturn gets the win, submitting Scott Putski with the Rings of Saturn. Again, another unfortunate loss for Leif Cassidy, where he actually looked pretty good. On to the next. We then have Canyon and Saturn putting the boots to Cassidy and Putski again. We then have Dick and Fletcher backstage. Dick saying, "I've given you this chance, boy. Don't disappoint me. If you don't win, well, maybe he's right. Maybe you don't belong in this business, boy." We now have Taz taking on Big Vito LaGrasso in maybe the first competitive-ish match Big Vito's been a part of, but still, Vito wins pretty convincingly. Again, Code of Silence. Puts Taz down. Great match, but Vito seems pretty unstoppable right now. We then have Big Vito picking up the mic. "You're next, big man. You're next." We then have in the main event, Dick Knox taking on Robbie V. A tough match in the go-home show going into the big event. 53 from Dick Knox, 32 from Robbie V. Superb match. Dick Knox defeats Robbie V in 12 minutes with a knocks out. Defense number 5 of the TSWF Championship. Beautiful stuff. 49 segment rating. Big Vito at ringside for this match once again. After the match, Big Vito steps in the ring, face to face with Dick Knox. Just says, "May the better man win." Walks away. Hot finish to the go-home show. Very good show. 45 rating. No penalties at all. Weirdly. I don't know why all of a sudden there's no penalties. Huh. Anyways, great show. Good stuff. Very happy with it. Catch you all in a minute. Alright, as this video is running a bit long, we are gonna rapid fire this outro. So, next episode we have the season finale of Resolutions. Do not miss it. It's gonna be a big show. If you have enjoyed this episode and you're enjoying this series, please like, comment, subscribe, everything. It helps me so much. YouTube is a monster. So I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all taking your time. Likes, comments, subscribes, everything. I appreciate it all. You guys have a fantastic rest of your days.
Battle lines in the horizon dawn. Every day's a clash relentless on. No medals, just scars and pain.